I have a conviction that when we are suffering, even the enemies of us, they tend to be supportive. Unless you have a very strong nature, very, very difficult. You may have already experienced this. You didn't like a certain person very much when you rise from her suffering at first. You may even have
Spoken that is good soon after you were visited by a feeling of compassion, because I suffering from the other shows us our then inevitably we are faced with the pain of the other, and this confrontation of ours takes us inside, and we begin to think that we are also vulnerable as much as they thee. Suffering of others
reminds us that we suffer too. And when we think we suffer too, a naturalness springs up in U.S. solidarity with those who are suffering, but different from suffering when we realize that the other is very happy. We can't always stand in solidarity.
With the joy of others, it's something very petty in us, right? It's hard to even recognize, but that more you pay attention to know the joy of the other bothers me. I even tolerate a little more when I think it's too much. I don't even feel unwell anymore. Why it will be, I think sometimes we have a hard time dealing with each other's joy. With the joy of others, it's something very petty in us, right? It's hard to even recognize, but that more you pay attention to know the joy of the other bothers me. I even tolerate a little more when I think it's too much. I don't even feel unwell anymore. Why it will be, I think sometimes we have a hard time dealing with each other's joy.
When you don't have
One day at a time, committed to building a well-being of you being happy with you, with the choices you're making, with all that you are allowing yourself to be, its ambience, emotional, effective. When you neglect, when you is not committed to the quality of all this, you tend to be unhappy in being. Unhappy, you're going to have a hell of a hard time understanding and welcoming the happiness of others. Therefore, we do not send the opportunity to be well informed about this. CA, the joy of the other is bothering me. California, joy of the other bothers you. I think we need to ask ourselves a question. Why is it? Because I'm neglecting the construction of my first. We are not purists. We are not here to make a moralistic speech. Let's first and foremost acknowledge the truth. And yes, the life of others will always interest us. It is natural for humans to have this curiosity, knowing how the other lives, how the other thinks as the other does. It is natural that you have a keen curiosity about people that you admire when you see a series. I like that actor's performance. That actress, when we see the movie, immediately we want to know who that person is. Then you can follow on social networks. Somehow you want to quench this curiosity. And she at first is healthy and interest in the other. How cool is his work? We value. We want to see more things closer to a narrow threshold between the healthy and the unhealthy. That's when the other's life goes by interest us more than our own. That's when we start building a routine in which the life of the other is more guided than our reality. Then Louis lights up, or should it light up right, is cessation of alien life. It can be symptoms of what we are not willing to look at. It is cessation of alien life can be a symptom that the lives of others being much more interesting than ours, if not in reality, more at least in the illusion. And the most effective way to fight all this is to qualifying our lives. Qualify your life be your point of departure and arrival, then it passes through the others. Interested in others, interested. If inclusive interest should generate much more around than good we can do for others, the life of the other should interest us like this. What can I do to aggregate? What can I do to make the life of that better person there? Yes, we are in the right place. The curiosity, that is normal. That is part of all of us in moderation. Why doesn't this occupy us much more than it should? A good part of our sales and sales understanding that people should act with us exactly and how we act with them. You have to lose that pretense people are ruled by other commands different from ours. The secret is to keep offering the best of us.